right, you ready?
I'm ready to start watching.
All right, let's watch. Three, two, one, play. I'm
Probably
not
see the
feeling the Marvel Television logo. There's gonna be a lot of stuff I'm complaining about in this.
So, like, put this in full screen because I can. So, having already seen this episode, I want to preface by saying I did enjoy the first two episodes overall. But having loved and absolutely loved the Netflix first three seasons of this show, I don't know. I do have some nitpicks about it.
Yeah, my issue, like I said before, after we both watched it the first time, they do so much to like tie up the first three seasons
Yeah,
in like the span of what 5 minutes,
yeah,
if that. And then it's even like the just the dialogue where they talk about the nostalgia at the beginning. Like
yeah.
it's like it's talking to the audience. It's like, hey, yeah, guys, can you believe we've been gone for so long? We're back.
So I
Nothing's
get
gonna
why.
happen. We're gonna be together forever.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
I get why they did what they did because they do want to do their own thing, but you still have to kind of pay appreciation to what came before. So you kind of have to like cut or at least tie off the loose ends from the at least season three, and then move forward. But at the same time, it did feel a little rush. Honestly, I would have been okay if they spent the entire first episode wrapping up the loose threads from season three.
Yeah, and all honesty, it probably would have been a better start for
Yeah,
this, but it just so I have an issue with the wrapping up. It just and it's all in the dialogue. It's all in the dialogue. It's
yeah,
them just literally talking, like when they're dropping like the little references of like Hogarth
mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
They're basically saying it's
And
like,
then
yes, that did exist, but we are now for sure in the MCU.
yeah, like they make it a point to say that, and
Yeah,
of course, it's getting ready to happen in a little while
yeah,
when Foggy
yeah,
dies, is sort of like saying like, yeah, this is the MCU now. But even what Matt had said like a little while ago about the was it has its heroes or whatever the line was,
yeah,
of it's like, aha, I get it, we're in the MCU now,
yeah.
Spider-Man, like all that other stuff.
Was
But it does feel like this
I,
they're trying
Jerry's a new character?
really hard to be season 3 and season 2 and season 1. Like they're trying really hard to be like, hey, we're still cool, like the Netflix series was. But it definitely just it feels like Disney Marvel.
Yeah, but
What were you gonna
Jerry,
say?
that detective that's retiring, is he a new character? Because I don't remember seeing him in Daredevil. Or I rewatched Daredevil.
Cherry, right?
That was Jerry, the detective that's retiring.
Yeah, I literally think they're setting him up right now,
Okay, so he's a new
because
character.
especially like later on in the episode I don't remember if it's this one or the second episode when him and Matt are talking and Matt's skipping the
Yeah,
stones.
yeah, yeah.
It has that Ben
Ben
Urich.
Urich.
It's almost like he's his Ben Urich slash
Yep.
the priest, because now that if and that's another thing, I don't know what's actual continuity from the Netflix
Yeah.
stuff and whatnot, because it
So
feels like they're picking
I
and choosing
I think
what's coming.
I think they're gonna try and make all of the Netflix MCU canon now.
Which is funny because when you think back on it, especially with the the first episode of season one, they talk about, what was it, the event.
The incident, yeah,
Yeah, the incident, yes, because they can't reference MCU, so it's sort of like it's always been set there, but it was never
yeah.
confirmed. I did something,
All
and
you
now it's
saw
like,
was
oh,
like
now it's part of it.
the bulletin headlines. But yeah, I know the only references I remember is the bulletin, just calling it the incident, and then I mean they put some of the villains from like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage or whatever in the Raft, the prison we see in Civil War and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So at least the Raft is MCU canon from this Netflix. But I mean, I do kind of like that. Even if the Netflix shows was MCU canon, it still was set in its own little spot of New York, right? It was.
Yes.
I did.
That's
I
that's what
did.
was always great about it, is because it
Yeah.
was its own thing. Like, it
We
was
didn't.
grounded. And speaking of, that's what's about to happen in a little while right now, is one of my biggest issues
We didn't need
with
the.
just MCU,
Yeah.
Marvel, and just everything that they're doing in general now with modern stuff,
Yeah.
is the CGI environments, the digi doubles.
Yeah.
Like, that's a that it took me out of this episode.
We didn't. We don't need the gratuitous cameos or references or. I mean,
Like see right here, like like it looks so janky,
yeah,
like so janky. Like the swinging, like it looks partially real, but like right there, like the jumping and
yeah,
the way the camera's moving, like it just, like, that was cool.
yeah.
Like all he did was just like parkour off
And I
a
know.
chimney, but it looked
Yeah,
good because it was real. Like you could tell that was a stunt man or Charlie Cox, which would
yeah.
be pretty cool. But like it looks authentic.
And I know like Daredevil is more of an acrobatic ninja. He does the swinging, but it like the Netflix never really did it. But I understand.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah. Like
I
you just saw
understand.
that, right? You could tell that was a practical set.
Yeah,
That was
and
like a
I
rooftop. It
understand
might have been in a studio.
that's something the MCU wants to like add in, but it feels weird going from the oh
It nothing.
I mean when I
It just
first
feels
watched it.
unearned. It feels unearned.
So my biggest thing, I
Oh,
think,
right here.
right? Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you. Look,
no, but
the
that's pretty bad.
CGI smoke. The
Yeah,
CGI smoke.
I mean you can't use. I mean I guess you can. You can use a smoke bomb, right? Get
You
like a
can.
right.
You can. Like,
See, I think when I first watched it, I mean, I was still kind of like, I mean, I knew Foggy was dying, right? I knew he was going to die. It was, but I honestly thought it wasn't going to happen so soon up until he leaves the bar, and then I'm like, okay, it's probably happening soon, right? I thought it was going to be
yeah.
like towards the end of the episode, and then when all this led up to it, I was like, all right, he's definitely a goner.
Yeah.
But I mean,
This
it's
smoke
I
though,
think it's
dude.
because I
Like,
just
just
rewatched like
bothers
season
me.
3. I mean, I did feel it did hit me when Foggy, just because I was like, oh man. I mean, we waited what, like 7 years for them to come back, and he's gone in like 5 minutes.
And I think that's what I mean, is like it happens so quick.
Yeah,
But again, the exposition in this, like what, we're barely
I'll give a little bit more
what,
thoughts
9 minutes into the
after.
show,
Yeah,
and it's already like,
I'll go a little further on why I think. I mean, it's not like it's. I don't know. I'll wait till after the scene before I get into that
gotcha.
because it does tie into even Bullseye here. But man, when that gets kind of messed up. Let's count how many knives he's gonna have in him right now.
I never realized it until like the end of the fight.
Yeah. But I didn't notice the smoke the first time I watched it because I was still kind of shaken up over. I mean, not, I guess shaken up isn't like the right term, but I was still kind of like, I guess a little in shock about Foggy. But then, oh God, what'd she take to the face right there? But yeah, and then when I saw it for the second time, I was like, that smoke does. Smoke, I think it's hard to do. But you could just get a fog machine, right? I don't know.
Exactly, like something like it just.
It just killed him for no reason. What I always did love
That's always
is
my favorite thing is the sound.
did he
That's the most
stab her? Or
realistic thing in here, Robert.
did he
The
punch her or
death
just stab
rattles.
her? It looked like he just punched her.
Probably both.
Probably yeah. But what I always did love about the fight scenes in Daredevil is like the realism, right? You can feel like them getting exhausted after fighting for, look at that, another one. What is that? He's got like 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one in the back. But yeah, I mean, you kind of feel the realism of these fights, the brutality of it.
Yeah.
They're actually human characters, not you know not like I can do this all day.
Yeah, and
They,
it sort of takes me out of it though, because of Bullseye, because you do have to suspend reality a little bit to buy into it, but it's still entertaining. Like,
yeah,
don't get me wrong,
like the
but like
hallway
you said,
scene,
like I think of the first hallway where
the
he's just
hallway
fighting
scene.
guys. This
Yeah,
one, like, he's just like, see, like that little the digi double. I don't know if you noticed. He's like, ooh,
yeah,
all
yeah.
janky.
I mean, they literally could have got a
Like, see,
stunt double for that.
yeah, like right there, that's a digi double by the way he's punching. Like, it's just like the movements look unnatural. See, like the see that's real right there. See,
Which
I
is
feel
weird
that.
because like you never got digi. I don't. I mean, to my knowledge, you never really got those digi doubles in the Netflix series. I mean, you most likely got stunts, like stunt people, stunt coordinators, and all the stunt doubles. But
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to Marcy. Weren't they like engaged in season 3, or I don't
I
know if they
thought
were
they had broken
engaged.
up in season 3. I
No,
thought
they
they
were
split up.
together. Yeah, no, they were living
It's been a
together.
minute since I watched it.
You know what's sad is that actually didn't look like a digi double.
No, it looked
That
that
actually
looked
looked
good.
that actually looked real.
That looked like they went for it.
Yeah.
So like, the thing I like, and we were watching a movie the other night. Was it We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield? And I realized, man, dude, Andrew Garfield like tears me up, and like
Oh
watching
yeah.
this scene, it did tear me up because of Charlie Cox's
Oh
acting.
yeah. Charlie Cox is.
I mean, dude, he sells emotion.
Oh yeah.
English actors, English
I mean,
actors. Oh, speaking of,
Oh yeah, the helmet. Yeah.
Matt.
So the thing I was gonna say is I know, I mean, I know, Bullseye here knows who Karen and Foggy is and his connection to like Matt Murdock, but what's his motive here? And I don't know if that's not something we won't get answered later on. But like, if you're gonna
We'll never
tie up,
get it answered.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, if this is the last we see of, Poindexter here,
I
what
don't
was the
think it is
motive?
just because of how how it ends up in the courtroom
Yeah,
and
like what?
whatnot. I mean, it's not a that doesn't feel like a final goodbye. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It feels sort of like a we'll meet again.
but like, yeah, that's what I was just like. All right, what's the motive? Because to my knowledge, he doesn't know Matt is Daredevil. So why is he going after Foggy? Why is he targeting Foggy? Karen. He wasn't sent after him. At least, again, to our knowledge, we won't know until maybe, hopefully, that gets answered for the rest of the show. But what was his motive there?
Yeah. I literally think it's just a breadcrumb that's being set up,
I'm,
and
I'm gonna hope so. I hope they get.
maybe
I
we'll
hope they.
find out, or maybe it'll be like Lost. Yeah, we'll never know. I do have something to say about these credits, though. I hate that they fast forward through the
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
Like it feels like somebody hit fast forward. They're like, okay, let's get them through, get them through, get them through. Like it doesn't feel like it's like built
Like
up.
we need to breathe here. Like we need to
Yeah.
appreciate the people involved. They could slow it down a bit. At
I
first,
also
because I was
like.
like, I was hoping they'd have the original because I love the original, opening credits. That one
Yeah.
was a little long. This one is far too short, but from what I'm gathering, I like the symbolism here about how the first credits was Justice is blind. This one is more like Justice is broken, and the only thing that could fix it is you see him, the Daredevil reform at the end. Like he has to be the justice in the city. But yes, it
I like.
was definitely too fast.
I
At
like
least
that.
that's what I got after the credits.
Yeah. So
There
what I
was,
got was this was Disney saying, "Yeah, your Netflix is gone.
yeah,
Disney Marvel
yeah, that
Daredevil is
too,
here, and he's here to
that too.
stay because he's born again."
Yep. Which again, I get it. You kind of want to close that chapter and then do your own thing. So I get it. Do I like it? And it's fine, I guess. Maybe I'll grow to love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it looks cool. I mean,
Yeah, they could
don't get me
definitely slow
wrong.
it down. I
Yeah, it's like it's the little things like that. It just feels like it's sort of like they're like,
again,
we got to get to it. We got to get like
I did miss
just let
this the
just-
1 year later. I did miss the 1 year later on my first viewing.
Oh, for real?
I did. I don't know why or how.
Oh, so I wanted to point this out because it's the same thing I laughed about when we saw Captain America. Did you notice that they started using Spectrum News for the
No.
news the news cycles in the Marvel
Yeah, because they
stuff?
had their own. They used to have
Yeah, they had their own,
their
but just
own.
seeing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spectrum News was enough to make me laugh. I was like, God, like, does anyone actually use Spectrum News?
Because they used to have what was it? That chick from Iron Man 2, with Christine Everhart or whatever.
Yeah,
Or was it Iron Man 2, Iron Man 1? I don't know. I think she was in both. She would
both.
always
She's
pop
in
up
both.
randomly. I don't know if I like this shot, to be honest.
I didn't care for it. They're doing too much of that now, like the whole
I
pan
I
upside
do
down. I'm
like
like, no,
the
all I
Empire.
needed was just like,
I do like the Chrysler building framed behind him, though. I did like that.
yeah,
I wish it was a
I just want to pan from behind her. You don't even have to like
yeah,
pan behind, just show his hands and then just cut to this. It would have been cool to see him cooking food
yeah.
like he did in the Netflix one. Like I always enjoyed. watching him do that.
Then here's going to be your plug to Hawkeye. Tracksuit
Was he?
Mafia. I don't know. The Tracksuit Mafia was, though. I assume that's just a
Oh, the
small
tie-in for it.
reference. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the amount of times that they freaking reference Echo throughout
Yeah.
this whole episode.
I'm glad they brought her back because I know they were going to recast.
Yeah, well, she was recast, I believe, initially
Yeah.
because this is brand new. Like they, to my knowledge, had shot
Yeah.
like a full thing, and everyone was like, maybe
Yeah.
not, scrap it, start from the beginning. And I will say, I hope they actually listened to the fans when they had said, just you literally just have to remake the Netflix series
Yeah.
your
When
own. Like that's all we want. Just make it violent, make it grounded.
I
Like
didn't
that's it.
follow, wasn't following the production as close, but I know when the writer strike happened, I think like Kevin Feige or whomever, like, they saw or they watched whatever they had shot initially, and I think they scrapped most of it and overhauled it, and then that's when they brought back Karen Page, Foggy, and then the original Vanessa at the behest of Charlie Cox and D'Onofrio here, because they were the
Yeah.
ones that went to the studio and were like, no, we need to go back to what Netflix, more of a Netflix style.
I just hope they don't waste her character. And what I mean by that is not like waste, but you know what I mean? Like, because that's what I'm getting so far is this sort of like she's just
So,
there.
well, and then I'm gonna have I guess we can wait till the end with when it comes to Vanessa, but since she used to be an art dealer, and I don't know much about the character of Muse other than he's a Banksy style artist that uses corpses in his art.
Yeah.
Part of me
Oh,
thinks she's gonna end up one of his victims.
that would be pretty cool. It would.
I mean,
I
I
mean, it
thought,
sucks, but I mean, it would be good writing, which is
yeah.
what the
I
show
mean,
needs.
honestly, that's how I thought Foggy was gonna die at the end. I thought Foggy was not going to die until the end, and it was going to be by Muse somehow. That way, you introduce the new villain of the series by also showing the stakes of, hey, we mean business. We're killing off a main character. We're showing you this villain is serious. Again, I don't know who Muse is. I didn't read those comics, so I have a feeling we're going to see him in I think episode 2. But again, that's just a hunch.
Yeah.
But this
I
part, I
I'm
don't
excited
get.
for Muse just from what I've seen, like from the
Yeah,
screenshots that they released. Like, oh, that mask looks so cool.
but I don't get.
Vanessa.
And I think when I messaged you, I was like, I don't get. So in season 1, they meet. He kind of courts her for a bit, and it seems like they only date for 2 weeks or whatever. And then the news comes out that he's the kingpin, and then he sends her into hiding for a year because he goes to prison. And I think in World season 3 is like a year or so after season 2 or something, and then she comes back out of hiding or whatever, and they get married, and then he literally on their wedding day he goes back to prison. But all of a sudden, she stuck by him that entire time. But all of a sudden, he gets shot in the face, goes to heal, takes a few months off to heal, probably emotionally, every type of way, and now she's distant from him. That doesn't make sense.
Part of me feels like it's because of I mean, it's two things. One, I think it's the evolution of her character because of how they met, how they started, and then he was always wanting to keep her separate from it. She got a taste of it, of the life. and what it is and what it offers. And now that he's been gone so long, that she's like grown accustomed to
She's
that. Yeah,
she's
she's
the
the
kingpin,
Michael Corleone
right?
now.
I get okay. I can see that she's now the kingpin, and
But
she's like, okay, I maybe I don't need you, or
yeah, and then on the other side of it is I really think they couldn't figure out a way to shoehorn the Kingpin's
yep,
story
yeah,
into Daredevil Born Again naturally, because of showing him in Echo, because of showing him in Hawkeye. Like all of that sort of like did some weird twists and turns, and all of a sudden, okay, now we're back in.
yeah. Because
So
when
like,
Hawkeye came out, Marvel wanted that Wilson Fisk to be separate from the Netflix series, and then they were going to probably, when Born Again was first announced, they weren't going to have any ties to the Netflix series. They were going to do their own thing that's coming out of Hawkeye and Echo, and then when they went back and rewrote and reshot it, they're like, all right, now we got to tie it into Netflix, but also figure out a way to continue what we did in Hawkeye and Echo,
yeah,
which, I mean, surprisingly, I think they did a fairly decent job. I mean, I'm trying to give credit to the writers because I mean, from a creative standpoint, I think that was a kind of a tall task to do. Because honestly, I didn't like, nothing against D'Onofrio, but I didn't like how they wrote Kingpin and Hawkeye or Echo. Um, so I think, for the most part, I think the writers did a pretty good job trying to tie everything together and reintroduce Kingpin to the old audiences and the new audiences. So
yeah.
I'm
Like
trying to give them a little credit there.
Kingpin went from, like Marvel, he went like from a villain in a John Wick movie
Yeah,
to in Hawkeye,
I mean,
uh Harry and Marv in Home Alone
yeah,
is like
I
the
mean,
vibe I got from that.
he beheaded a dude with a car door in one of the, was it like episode 5 or 6?
Yeah.
And then he goes to what, Hawkeye getting beat by Kate Bishop or whatever. Like,
Yeah, like tasered and blown
yeah,
up with arrows. Like I said, very Home Alone. Like
yeah,
it's just cartoony, and then shot in the face.
and then shot in the face. I did love his portrayal of Poindexter in season 3, though.
Oh, dude, yeah. When I had rewatched it a while back, I forgot he had the dead body in the passenger seat. I'd forgotten about that.
Same. He's so unhinged.
I do like that they brought him back, but
Yeah, I
like I
hope this
said,
is
I
not the
really
last of
hope
them.
it's not like Lost. I hope
Yeah,
it's not just a breadcrumb that never gets resolved.
Bullseye is such a good character, but
This scene felt really weird too,
yeah.
because if it it just feels like
Again, I think it's just a way for the, they had to bring him back, but they had to close out some of the whatever. Then so she has to go back to San Francisco so they can actually move on with the story they want to tell.
oh god, I wonder if they're gonna tie her in, if there ever is a season 2 or continuation of She-Hulk
Oh, so and
or
that's
Ant-Man.
and I'm all about timeline, right, for the MCU, and I think that timeline's got pretty muddled after like halfway into Phase 4.
Yeah.
Um, so I think season 3 takes place in like 2017, something like that. In the timeline of the MCU, definitely
Oh
takes
god, I
place.
just realized that, because that means this takes place. Oh no.
Well, no, no. So I think all of the Netflix takes place before the blip,
Yeah.
Matt definitely survived the blip because the flashback in Echo was during the blip. I don't. I'm guessing, Fisk, Karen, and Foggy all survived the blip, which is statistically unlikely. But if everybody in the Spider-Man franchise got blipped out, I mean, I guess it's possible they didn't all get blipped out. So, and then I'm guessing the prologue to this takes place. Oh, then he appears in No Way Home, which is,
Yeah.
I believe, in world timeline is like 2024 because Endgame takes place in October 2023. Then you had Far From Home, that was like 8 months later.
Actually, you know
And
what?
then I'm
Now that I remember, I don't remember if it's this episode or episode 2. There's a Rogers
yeah, the Rogers
reward.
the musical, yeah,
Yeah,
in
when
Times Square.
Kingpin is giving his speech. Yeah.
But so yeah, Endgame is October 2023. Far From Home is 2024. No Way Home is like set during Christmas. Hawkeye is, I think, right after that in 2024. So if this takes place maybe at the tail end of 2024, the prologue at least, maybe beginning of 2025, then 1 year later.
Yeah, because we don't even know how
Guessing,
this is gonna end.
yeah, I'm guessing,
Well, no, because isn't it New Year's? Oh no, it's not New
yeah.
Year's. It's the celebration.
Isn't there a New Year's celebration though?
I don't remember.
Oh, I think you might. Mm. When are elections held? I don't know. I don't. At least for mayors, I don't know.
It's the MCU. Whenever they want.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be a. That doesn't have to always coincide because, I mean, who's president, right? I mean, Ritson was president in Secret Invasion, a show we don't talk about, and then you had Thunderbolt
What show
Ross.
is that?
Yeah. So, in my best guess, this is 2026 right now. Currently, the prologue has to be like 2025. Best guess. I could be wrong. That's just me going off the top of my head. I mean, when they were like, what was it, 8 years later after the Battle of the New York in 2012, and then it takes place in 2016. God, that irritated me so much.
I feel like they're trying so hard to make him Wesley,
Yes,
and I hate it. I hate it.
I love that dude playing Wesley though. He was so good in season one.
Oh, so freaking good. I was excited to see
Gandolfini,
Michael Gandolfini though.
Gandolfini.
I miss his dad.
Yeah, but what is he going to be more than just his like aide, or I don't know. Kind of curious what they're going to do with his character.
Yeah, like I don't know if he's anything from the comics or
Yeah,
what it is, but
I mean Daniel Blake is just a
maybe he'll be an opportunist and
maybe maybe a surrogate for Fisk and Vanessa's son in the comics. I think he ends up becoming like the Rose or something. Oh, F bomb. To my knowledge, they didn't drop a
in an
single F bomb
MCU
in the
show.
Netflix, and they didn't drop a single F bomb in the Netflix series.
No, they had enough blood
Yeah,
and everything else to make up for it. Wait, did they win Punisher?
they might have been the
Wasn't he?
Punisher. I don't. I've only seen those
I don't
twice.
remember.
I know everybody. They pretty much say Daredevil and Punisher was the best, but and I mean I like the guy that John Bernthal as the Punisher, but uh, I don't think the Punisher was as good as Daredevil.
I'll be honest, I never finished watching it.
Or I don't think it was as good as season 1 of Jessica Jones.
It's a good season.
I did think it kind of got muddled in the middle there for season 1. Thought it could have maybe maybe it was like 2 episodes too long.
The camera zoom looks so janky.
I don't mind it. I do think it's I don't know, the Netflix series was so like dark and gritty and like grungy, like it felt lived in, real world. I mean, maybe it's because it was mostly filmed, night scenes. So
Well,
it's kind of weird.
actually,
It's kind of weird
now
seeing.
that you bring it up, um, the way it looks right now, it looks so dull. Like the color grading.
Yeah, it's
Like I get what they're going for, but it's a common theme like in a lot of the Marvel stuff, especially this later Marvel stuff is just so dull and void, like almost colorless.
mhm. Well,
Like I
that's
just want
that's
the
what I
colors
like.
to pop a little bit more, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
See, like
like
right
the
here it's popping a
Netflix.
little bit more.
I think it's just the natural light from the windows from that previous scene. But I think that's what I liked about the other. Like it was so dark and it was like higher contrast that
Yeah.
the lighting they used. They didn't use like traditional like lights. It was always like yellow lights and it's like lights from overhead. Like you saw a lot of reds and in different colors. I did like that. That it was just a higher
It looked
contrast.
gritty. It looked
Yep.
grimy, like the
Yeah.
house kitchen was dirty.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, this feels very very polished, very clean. It looks very modern and hip. I'm interested to see what happens with this storyline.
Yeah. Like I know she is a character from the comics. I don't know what she does or did or whatever, but
There's a I can't remember if it's this episode or the next one, but her book title.
what was the title? I don't think
Oh well, we'll get to it.
we'll get there. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
We'll
yeah.
get there.
There's gonna be that's for the character I think who Muse is gonna be. He's at the signing.
Yeah. He's like, I need help. I do like this scene, like the whole like, lose the audio. That what I
Yeah, no,
get
this
from
is
it is
nice.
that it's gonna be like it's setting it up.
Yeah,
It's
and
setting
no,
it up
like I said, I
like
get it.
yeah.
It's not going. It's not the will they,
I feel like it's gonna
won't
be
they?
tragic.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
she's definitely dying too.
Yeah,
Her
because
or Vanessa.
just how oh yeah,
Her
or
or Vanessa's
both.
dying. But like, no, like
Honestly,
I get.
if they have the guts to kill them both off, better story.
Yeah.
Because then
Or
it would put them both at odds,
yep.
Fisk and Matt. Like there's stakes. Now it's like
Oh, and then can you imagine after everything they've been through, they have to team up?
and that's what I'm
Like
wondering.
like
That's
Fisk wants to ban the vigilantes, but he knows that he can't do anything about Muse unless he has Daredevil.
yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Or at least that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
hoping. Like story wise, oh my god, that'd be a great story
And then when we get to season 2, there's gonna be another storyline there that I'm pretty sure I know where it's going.
for season 2.
No, it'll probably just play out the rest of the season. By the way, we are prefacing we have already seen both episodes.
Yes, both episodes have been seen.
We couldn't wait. We watched them. We weren't gonna start videoing for quite a while, but we said nah. Purchases were made. No regrets.
Not even a letter.
But no, like I do appreciate, or again, you have to close out what came before so you can move forward. So I do like, the will they, won't they with him and Karen. That's kind of, even if I don't necessarily like Karen just being written off the way she's being written off, and I know she's apparently coming back either later in the season or season two. But I do get it. They got to progress the character, reintroduce some of the story elements that they want to tell. And again, I think having that the writers had to go in and rewrite some stuff and probably redo where certain scenes were going to take place. I feel like they did a pretty good job, like writing it and editing it to where it's still cohesive. At least in my opinion. I don't know. The BB report's growing on me, like these cuts. But again, this is the third time I'm watching this. I thought it was a little jarring initially.
Yeah, look at that fake smoke.
Yep. But yeah,
Yeah, the BB report. Yeah, look, Spectrum News again.
yeah. Why does it have to be like a full ratio type, 4:3 ratio for the thing? Like,
Oh yes, that's what I wanted to bring up. I'm I hate the back and forth with the widescreen, full screen, widescreen, full
yeah,
screen. Like it's why
I
for
don't think you need to
what?
do that. I don't think you need to do that. See, if I didn't already see this like on a preview, I would have loved this scene because this is why we came back to the show. These two characters right here. And apparently, I did read that this scene right here was supposed to happen later in the season.
It makes sense that it would have too. That's why I'm like they're
But again, it's
kind of
still
getting everything out of the way now, and it makes you wonder what's coming.
look at this. This is pretty good. I like this.
See if it would. See, I initially thought when I was watching this, it was gonna cut to black and the show was over. I was like, oh wait, there's still like 15 minutes left.
So as you watch this scene, after everything they've been through, and you kind of understand, it's kind of like a Batman Joker type. Maybe not to that extent. That's just psychotic.
You know what
But are
actually came to
these?
mind? Heat.
But do they
The diner
kind of
scene in
respect
Heat.
each other? Oh no, that's exactly what this is called. They literally call this the heat scene. These type of scenes.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, what did it remind me?
But
I feel
like
like right now, like
shoot you in the face.
so is D'Onofrio supposed to be Pacino and
Yeah.
Charlie Cox is supposed to be De Niro.
But you know what's odd, and
Younger
that's what I love.
generation.
That's what I
Yeah.
love about that's what I love about the characterizations of both these characters is they're literally both sides of the same coin,
Yeah.
where they could literally be like the best duo the city has ever seen. Like if they actually worked together, if he wasn't, a crook, or if he wasn't a good guy, you know what I mean? Like they are that yin and yang, that what does Thanos say? Every perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're so good. I just noticed he still has the scar on the side of his head.
I did like this scene. I mean, it's not a bad scene.
I mean, nah, they're just so good. You know they're gonna carry everything they're in.
Oh yeah.
Definitive Matt Murdock, definitive Wilson Fisk. there's like at least a certain level of mutual respect between them. They hate each other.
It's like yeah, what's the best way to describe that respect? Like an understanding, I guess. I keep thinking of like when I say that, I keep thinking of this clip that I saw from that movie Nobody.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah, when he shows up at the club with the landmine, he's like, "You came to my home, which you know you never do." It's like that thing. It's like, there's a respect. Like there's a
Yep.
line. You don't cross that line.
Speaking of
Speaking of,
lines crossed, that couldn't have timed that more perfectly.
oh, yeah, that's what I do. I wish it would have just cut to him getting thrown off the building. Tried to kill him that night.
I mean, what did Frank tell Matt in season 2? He's just one bad day away from becoming him.
One bad day from becoming me, Red. I really do hope that it does have a little bit more of his Catholicism.
Yeah.
In here. That's why it's like the whole thing with Cherry, he's sort of like Ben Urich and the priest at the same time.
Yeah,
unless they try to have BB be Ben.
Yeah. I wonder if she's gonna discover whatever happened to her uncle.
Just what they hinted at in the second episode. Yeah. Now will it end the same way? That is the question.
Or will Daniel Blake intervene and show his loyalty and
do the deed
and unalive, as I guess the younger generation would say.
Yeah, oh yeah, because you can't say the fun words anymore.
No. Yeah, doesn't Thunderbolts take place in New York? You gonna tell that to Sentry?
Oh God, we'll see what happens.
I'm actually excited for that movie. I think it's gonna be fun.
I'm
not necessarily think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be fun.
I think I have to go into it like the Fast and the Furious movies. I mean, the vibe I get from it is Suicide Squad. I just get like hardcore Suicide Squad vibes from it.
Which one?
Both. That's the thing that worries me.
I love James Gunn's version. I didn't care. Man, what happened to David Ayer?
Oh, look, Spectrum News again.
What was the old news? What was the
it was
old
J.
news?
Jonah Jameson.
Right? All right, so if a man is blind, is he still supposed to walk on the closest side?
Dude, that's the sidewalk? Same thing I thought the first time I saw that. I was like, wow, Matt Murdock's a douche.
Right? I mean, I know he, we all know he is him, right? He should be walking.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't know that. So is she walking on that side because she feels she has to protect the blind guy?
I don't know. It always irritates me. These are the questions we're asking. We need answers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had the same thought. I was like, wow, Matt, really?
Yeah, it always irritates me in real life when I see it. I'm like, my girlfriend just realized she just found out that the Gulf of Mexico got changed to Gulf of America. And I'm going to make her watch this video, so she's going to hear that.
Do it. I like how the music gets intense. Like a riot's about to break.
Do we all just forget like he was murdered? Like he murdered people? Like I just want to know how. So I just want them to explain how he got off the charges that at the end of season 3.
They probably never will because that's how they had to write it in. They were like,
Yeah,
just don't mention it. Oh, look, see right here. Look, speaking of
yeah.
Godfather.
Because like again, Hawkeye and Echo was setting him up to be a different version of Wilson Fisk. So I wish they at least explain how
So that's what that
they
feels like.
like. Do they just? I don't know. I mean, I guess him being arrested was all based on that character Nadim's confession right before he, was killed, because he made like a confession on the phone, which apparently is not admissible in court. I don't know. They explain it better in the show. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Watch season 3 of Daredevil. I mean, if you're watching the show, you should already watch the Netflix version. It's always an Adam.
No, they haven't shown this guy yet, right?
I don't know. Like, I don't think so. But the way that guy that they called part of the tracksuit mafia was lingering, they had a lingering stare when Whistle walked in,
Yeah.
and she put her hands on around his shoulders. I don't know if that's going to be him or not. But no, we have not seen a person named Adam yet.
I love them together. Like
Yeah,
it's just that fog in the background on the is it the Empire, the Chrysler building?
there's your Spectrum News.
Just
there's
oh, look, see Rogers.
musical Rogers.
Rogers.
I would actually watch that play though, that musical.
Hey, I could do this all day.
Yeah. Apparently, they used real Broadway actors for that,
I believe it.
and apparently, I think either at Disneyland or Disney World, they actually do a reenact. So I'm assuming this is Muse, just doing wall murals instead of what he turns out to be. Because why would you
Oh, look, she said it. Oh,
go?
F bombs.
That's what two. What would Jennifer Walters say?
Ugh. 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 Ah. Forced smile.
So who's the other? Is that supposed to be Vanessa?
The face.
Or yeah, obviously that's Wilson Fisk. Who's the other
And it's supposed to be his face. I love this
twins?
shot.
Yeah,
This shot looked really good. See, this
yeah,
this is what I wanted to see more of.
yeah,
Like just from behind him. Like
yeah.
that's all
Like
you
they're
need.
actually like even this right here, walking, real, real people. Like they actually filmed it in New York. I know they filmed in New York, but I don't know if I like the music.
The music is really weird. And I don't mean that in the sense that the music's bad. It's just I don't feel like it's a good
I don't.
fit for what
Yeah.
you're trying to do with this. But
Like,
again, I mean, let's be honest, we're biased because we loved we love the
yeah.
Netflix Daredevil
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much, and this is
And it,
sort of this is a different
any of
take.
my critiques on this show is it's not nothing bad. I still overall enjoyed the show by all means. Like I'm glad we have Daredevil back. I'm glad we have these two actors back. I mean, like if we're talking about perfect casting, you know, I always say Tom Hiddleston is Loki. Obviously, these two, but yeah, like this is good too. Like that's the kind of the lighting and the contrast I was talking about. And that concludes episode 1. All right. Well, do you want to like talk about uh anything more about the episode?
Yeah, overall, what did you think overall? First episode, just episode
Just
one
the
by
first. I
itself.
mean, overall. I mean, like I said, overall, I enjoyed it. I think it's like a solid 8 out of 10. Again, minor nitpicks here and there. I guess they just did a little things that I thought. I don't know. I didn't think they were going to do it that way. Again, that could have just been me having different or certain expectations. Um, I did feel like the opening prologue, the whole thing with Foggy, I did feel like that was just kind of tacked on. Um, but again, when I first watched it, I did feel kind of an emotional hit from it, just because I had just rewatched like pretty much all the 3 seasons of Daredevil, you know, relatively recently. So Foggy being there was still, you know, new, fresh. But I mean, yeah, I mean, kind of closed out some threads rather quickly, maybe too quickly for my taste. But I understand they want to move forward. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. How about you?
Uh, Slightly different. If we're going out of 10, I would actually give this a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm down the middle in the sense that I feel like it's still early. I don't know what or where the show's going to go from here.
Yeah.
I do know that my nitpicks, the same thing. I just feel really I really enjoyed the Netflix Daredevil, and I think I
Yes.
wanted more of that, but I'm still, you know, trying to be realistic of this is going to be
It's going to be different. Yeah.
Marvel Daredevil. This is going to
Yeah.
be slightly toned down but different. But I also feel like, it's sort of towing the line that, again, like I said at the beginning, the thing I didn't like is the opening felt so rushed with how they had to wrap up
Yeah.
like
If we
everything from Netflix.
if
If
we
they would have taken their
exclude
time,
if
what's
we
up?
exclude all that, how would you have liked the episode from everything else?
Um,
Because yeah, I mean, I do
like
like.
had we had started like 1 year later, like from that
Yeah,
point on.
maybe. See, I don't know. Like, it's just kind of weird.
That's what I mean. Is like this should have been the first episode should have been a tie up,
Yeah,
and then the
you get
ending
that gut punch at
end
the
with
end.
the end it with that. Um, it just felt like they were in a rush
Yeah,
to get it out. They were like, we have to just do a quick recap. It almost feels like, the skip button at the beginning of, all
yeah,
these episodes where it's
yep,
like, here's a quick recap of what happened before. That's literally what it felt like
yeah,
in the episode. That it was just a quick recap. You see, oh, here's like the greatest hits, and then the dialogue. I have an issue with the dialogue being so what's the word I'm looking for? Is it expositional?
Yeah,
or
because I think they're
j-
trying to use it to catch up. Because you
yeah,
are, and that's the thing, you are going to have
but
an audience that has not watched for some reason the previous seasons of Daredevil, and
yeah,
that's
but
why
they do it
they
a
will.
lot though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but they won't.
That's what I mean though. It's like in all, it's across the board
But
in a
because
lot of MCU projects, and I'm like, stop treating the audience like they're dumb. Like just boom, drop us in the middle of it. People will follow along. They'll catch
yeah,
up. Like I'm so tired of the spoon fed. Like, oh hey, like people don't talk like that in real life. Like I hate it. I get why they do it, but I don't like it, and that's why my score is so low for it. Honestly, I didn't really care for the episode that much. Like, I feel like they did decent with setting up, like after the opening credits,
mhm,
then it sort of like finds its way, like with the pacing.
yeah,
Yeah, the BB report thing threw me off at first.
yeah,
With it felt sort of weird how it was just placed in there. Again, issues with the widescreen full screen, just like it was annoying. um Characters though, I mean, I like the characters.
mhm,
Characters are good. I feel like we're getting good setup. A big thing is no one annoys me, which is a good thing, where it's just like, oh, like this character just feels like, they don't feel like a character, they just feel like they're just there to be an annoyance.
yeah. Like you always
And
seems like you always have to have that one in every show that's like overdoes it, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they're not written well or thought out, where it's like, oh, I hate this person, but I hate this person for a reason. It's like I don't see any of that yet. Still early.
Yeah,
Still episode 1. But yeah, overall, like I said, I'll say some good things about it. The things that I did like, I like seeing, everybody back together.
yeah.
Um so that's nice. The new characters are pretty cool. Um yeah, that's that's pretty much all I have to say on that on my end.
I mean, no, that's fair. I mean, again, I think it's just because we hold the originals seasons in such high regard. I mean, I thought those were beautifully shot, lighting. Like there wasn't anything like even in the scenes that were just dark, like it was you expect that because I mean, you know, Murdock is blind. He's bringing everybody into his world, but I don't know. I mean, again, I enjoyed it. I get they're trying to do something different. I do wish it was more shot like the original series, but it's not. So I'm just trying to see what happens.
All
But
we
yeah,
can do.
yeah,
All we can do.
see how the rest of the season goes.